This week I'm heading home from Stockholm to London, travelling in business class on two very different European flights. The journey begins on board a KLM Boeing 737 to Amsterdam, before connecting on to a German Airways Embraer E190 in this rather striking DTM Motorsport livery for the short hop back to London City Airport. Along the way there are views over the Dutch tulip fields, distinctive ceramic coffee mugs inspired by KLM's famous Delft houses, a busy transfer through Schiphol Airport, and an arrival into London over Canary Wharf and the city's skyline. And for the first time in a very long time, I break my golden rule and end up running for a plane. Trust me, I had absolutely no choice. So join me as I make my way from Stockholm back to London and see what these two European business class flights have in store. Well, good morning and welcome to this week's video. Welcome to the wing of another 747. I'm in Stockholm and behind me is the magnificent, albeit permanently closed, Jumbo Stay Hotel. And I say that with a bit of sadness because I always wanted to stay here, and sadly, due to the recent rises in energy prices and lots of other things going on in the background, the Jumbo Stay has now permanently closed, and I find that to be quite sad. What a magnificent, magnificent idea for a wonderful hotel. And sadly, I never got to stay here. If you did stay in the Jumbo Stay Hotel, drop some comments below and tell me your memories. I'd love to hear them. And that leads us nicely onto today's video, because I'm flying back to London City, albeit not on a 747. That would be pretty impressive. I'd like to see that land at London City. We're flying back via Amsterdam with KLM and German Airways. Both legs are in business class. The first on the 737-900 with KLM to Amsterdam this morning, and then the second to London City with German Airways operating on behalf of KLM on their Embraer service. I'm looking forward to this one, albeit a little bit sad I never got to stay in the marvellous Jumbo Stay Hotel. But like I say, if you got a chance to stay here, drop some comments below and share your memories. But for now, I'm going to get out this Swedish wind, get the feeling back in my fingers, and head over to Stockholm Airport. It's just a short ride to the terminal today, and that terminal is Terminal 2, where KLM departs from. The check-in desks are down the end from numbers 51 through to 60. So all inside Stockholm Arlanda Airport, Terminal 2 for KLM, that's where the Air France and KLM departures are from. And you know me, the usual drill, just hand luggage for me, my rucksack and my small case today. So I'm going to head through priority security, which you get included as part of the Sky Priority perks with a business class ticket with KLM. And then we'll see what awaits us in the form of a lounge on the other side of security. Fast Track Priority Security is located in the middle of the gates, and I was the only person using it. It was pretty efficient. So all through security, a bit of a tip when it comes to Stockholm Arlanda Airport and security, just take everything out of your bag. So I got to the gate, the security gate, and said, what do I need to take out? Obviously every airport differs, totally cool with it, will always roll with whatever they need. Was told laptops and cell phones, so I took my mobile phone out, took my laptop out, and then the bag came through and said, oh, have you got any liquids on you? And I said, well, yeah, I've got my liquids bag with me and my toiletry bag in my case. All that needs to go through. I said, no dramas, send it through. Rucksack came through. Have you got any charging cables or hard drives? Or I said, yeah, external hard drive, lots of charging cables, power banks, etc. Okay, well, we need to take all those out and put those back through. Absolutely fine. And then I had one small issue, and it's a bit of a moan. I don't want to seem precious when I say it, but again, tossing things into sort of trays, just treat things with respect. I appreciate, it's fraught and everyone's busy and they've got to get a lot of people through, but just treat things with respect. I don't ever expect to see my belongings or any other person's belongings just tossed into a tray. Phone just thrown in, made a large sort of thudding, cracking sound. Fortunately, nothing damaged, but, again, it's just treat things with respect. So it was fast, but it could have been a lot faster if they'd have told me at the start what to take out, so never mind. I believe the lounge is the Pearl Lounge, so let's go and find that, and that's the lounge that KLM use for all their business class passengers departing Stockholm. You'll find the stairs to the Pearl Lounge located left past security, and once upstairs you just need to head to the end of this long walkway to find it. So no, I haven't skated off and gone and sat by a lake. I'm actually in the Pearl Airport Lounge, which is the nominated lounge for Air France and KLM business class customers, alongside a plethora of other airlines. Look, there's two sort of sides to the coin. The pro is it's really quiet, lots of charging facilities, fast Wi-Fi, fairly relaxing environment, so no complaints there. But if it's food or drink that you want, you're really going to be struggling. It's not good at all. The food quality is really poor. I had some pancakes with maple syrup and they tasted of bacon fat, so I can only assume they've been fried in the same pan as the bacon. The oatmeal, the porridge with cinnamon and sugar was just really bland and watery. So yeah, not a great lounge, to be honest with you. And if they can't even get the basics right, like orange juice, it tastes synthetically sweet, like a syrupy kind of juice. So I must admit my impressions of the Pearl Lounge aren't great. But I'll take you on a tour anyway and show you what you get if you do come in here. It's probably an area where you can come and just relax and chill out, rather than come here with the expectation of having something premium or having something decent to eat. You'll probably leave hungry, but at least you can relax in the relative calm of a pretty quiet lounge. There's a soda machine and 3 beers on draft, as well as a white and red wine option from these funky aircraft-themed dispensaries. There were jugs of orange juice, alongside this automated coffee machine too. There are a few bar snacks, croissants, a selection of cookies, crisp breads, gluten-free apple muffins, fresh fruit, a selection of meats and cheeses alongside some salad items, more croissants, this time served hot, this pot of oatmeal, a selection of breakfast staples including pancakes, eggs and bacon, and yes, the eggs were ridiculously overdone. Finally, there was some more crackers alongside some biscuits too. So, still sat in the Pearl Lounge. I was going to head down to the gate 65, for our flight over to Amsterdam, but I've just checked Flight Radar 24, and yeah, it's substantially late, about 45 minutes late at the moment, and that's as it stands. It's probably most likely going to get a little bit later as it taxis around Stockholm, coming into the gate here at Terminal 2. So, normally I wouldn't be too bothered, but the consideration I've got today is my connection is quite tight. It's above the minimum connection time, which is 50 to 60 minutes at Schiphol. It's an hour 20, so 80 minutes in total. So we'll see if we make that flight or not, and it'll be interesting to see what KLM do if I miss it. The only positive thing, I suppose, is the fact that it's a protected connection, because the ticket's booked from point to point with the connection through Air France, which is KLM's partner. So I know that they've got a responsibility to either get me on it or get me a replacement. So not too stressed, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's see what happens. So just leaving the Pearl Lounge now. It says go to gate. It's about 1 at the moment. It's just approaching 1:10. I'm going to go to the gate anyway, because no, my luck, KLM will have done an aircraft swap or something. So let's go see what's going on. The flight, as it stands, still about 30 minutes out of Stockholm here. But yeah, I'm going to go down. Don't want to risk it. Everyone else who was on the Amsterdam flight's already gone from the lounge. So let's head down and see what KLM's plans are for this late inbound aircraft. And here she is, flying us over to Amsterdam today is this 27-year-old Boeing 737-800, which was delivered to KLM Royal Dutch Airlines back in June of 1999. And just like that, it was turned around, we were down the air bridge, and I was sat in my seat number 2F next to the window. So welcome aboard this KLM 737-800 business class cabin. Now, if you were a little astute and watched that introduction, I did say 737-900. That was what was booked on the itinerary, but there was a little aircraft change in Amsterdam before this aircraft took off for Stockholm this morning. So all settled in. We are eating into a delay time now. We were due to depart at 13:55, and it is just around 2 o'clock now, so 5 minutes into that delay time. But I must say, I'm really impressed with how quickly KLM got that last set of the passengers off the aircraft and got us on, so big thumbs up for that. So yeah, I will get settled as always, as I always do, and take you on a full seat tour of KLM's Europe business class aboard this 737-800. I was the last row of business class today, with KLM configuring the seats in a 3-3 layout, with all middle seats blocked out. And yes, the legroom is absolutely superb, probably some of the best I've encountered on European business class. I was very impressed. You can also recline your seat, there's overhead reading lights and personal air vents, a drop-down tray table, manual window blind, and underseat AC power too. There's a storage pocket with safety card and also a copy of KLM's in-flight magazine, the Holland Herald. And that was pretty much it. The last bits of boarding were completed, we were refuelled by the team on the ground, and the crew then brought around a welcome drink, this Dragon Twist smoothie. It was very nice, albeit with a really sharp kick. So all up in the climb now on this Boeing 737-800, and I think we need to start by applauding KLM with the fantastic turnaround of that aircraft. I don't think I've ever witnessed anything as good as that. That was seriously impressive. From the moment that plane touched down to us literally wheels off the ground, 26 minutes. I think that is superbly good. And the flight deck came on and said they were doing all they could to get us away, you know, as best, obviously not on time, but as close to that departure time as possible. And boy, have they tried their very best. So before we land, they're going to let us know the connections. So they're going to find out who's on what flight. There's quite a few of us on connecting flights, and then they're going to tell us what gates to head to. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I might still make that connecting flight to London City. But yeah, I was really impressed. So sit back, relax. It was a bit of a bumpy ride out of Stockholm. Those winds on that 747 wing this morning was bad enough, but obviously we had to fly through them. So yeah, it was a bumpy old ride. But sit back, relax, and enjoy the delights of KLM's Europe business class. The crew came around and closed the curtains, and you can see here that even when the seat in front of you is reclined, space isn't really restricted. The service then began with a bar menu being handed out alongside this wonderful KLM lunchbox. So that's the meal service done and dusted, and what a service it was. I must admit, I'm really impressed by KLM. Every time I've flown them, they have been absolutely superbly consistent, and the crew are just so friendly, so warm and interpersonal. Just a really, you get a really good vibe from them. You almost feel like you're at home. It's a wonderful experience. So I didn't really think we'd get anything more than a sandwich on this leg, but turns out you get a full lunchbox. And in there, it was really nicely designed actually first, probably should touch on that. Designed by Marcel Vanders, very similar to the Delft House colours, that sort of blue and white ceramic design. And just to look at it, it looks impressive. The crew then unbox it, and there's a starter, a main and a dessert, and a choice of bread, be it whole wheat or white. And I went for a white bread roll, which was served with butter. Now, the starter was a carton of cashew nuts, really good quality cashew nuts. They were unsalted, but there was a packet of salt in a small little KLM branded envelope with salt and pepper inside if you wanted to salt them. The main was a vegetable potato salad with ASC smoked salmon flakes and red cabbage, and that was divine. That was a beautiful main, really tasty. And you weren't even bothered it wasn't a hot dish. It was light, it was really fragrant, and just a really tasty salad. And then dessert was 3 little macarons. Beautiful. There was 2 fruit. Didn't really pick up on the flavours, sort of citrusy, and then 1 white chocolate one, and it was a really nice sweet end to the meal. really, really impressive. And then there was a choice of drink. They gave you a little menu card whilst they were preparing your box, because they unbox the lunchbox for you and present it to you, and you can have a look through the menu and peruse, and there's alcoholic, non-alcoholic, hot and cold beverages available on this very short flight to Amsterdam. And I went for a KLM branded glass of orange juice, which was really tasty. And that was cleared away, and then the crew came round again with top-ups or further drinks, and I went for a gunpowder green tea, which, as you can see, was served in this beautiful KLM ceramic mug. I really wish, between you and I could get this home, because I fell in love with it. It's beautiful. So, well done KLM, you've pulled out all the stops again, and I really, really am impressed. I then made my green tea, enjoyed this KLM chocolate cookie, and sat watching the world go by. I can't tell you how much I tried to steal this mug. It really is one of my favourites. The dedicated business class toilet was relatively clean, but featured no premium soap like the toilets did on the 777 Fifth Freedom leg. Oh, and yes, it was certainly a tight fit. Well, a little bit of a surprise there. I came back from the loo review to find we've started our descent, and I somehow thought we'd got a little bit left of the flight, but I seem to believe a shortcut has been found. The crew very optimistic that I'm now going to make my connection, so I did pop to the galley and ask them, and the captain was in the galley, and I said, look, I'm in your capable hands, and he said, trust me, I'll put my foot on the gas for you, pedal to the metal, so let's see if we make the connection. But you know what, for an intra-European business class cabin, it's a little dated, nobody can deny that, it really is a little dated, but it's comfortable. And what sets these middle seat blocked business class cabins apart within the European area is the service, and that's something that KLM does extremely, extremely well. They really do. You know, the crew are so warm, really friendly, helpful. I've been asked 4 times if I'd like a top up on my drink, or if I'd like anything to go, or another biscuit or a snack. You know, that's the level of service that really sets these airlines apart. And sometimes you fly these intra-European business classes and you're lucky if you get a small sandwich, you know, and here's KLM whacking out a lovely designed sort of lunchbox style meal with an array of different drink services. So I don't think anybody can complain about the level of service that KLM have provided today. But as I said, we've started our descent into Amsterdam. Let's see if we can make this connection with German Airways, which is operating on behalf of KLM. They're a wet lease partner, over to London City. If not, then let's see how KLM handle the rebooking process. But all the experiences over the years I've had with KLM, including that very recent Fifth Freedom route from Santiago to Buenos Aires, have told me that they're an airline that really cares. So I'm not worried at all. So, as we start our descent, enjoy the descent into Amsterdam, enjoy the landing, and I'll catch up with you on the ground for that connection onwards to London City. Should also just be mentioned that the crew have just jumped on and gone through every possible short connection and given everyone their gates, and mine wasn't on that list, so I'm not classed as a short connection. It means as much as I thought I was in a bit of a sticky wicket, there's passengers on here that are in a much stickier wicket than I. I think the shortest connection's around 35 minutes across to Boston, so obviously we hope that they make it as well. So we've been told that it's not classed as a short connection, just go straight through, straight to the gate, and hopefully, all being well, the next time I am on some form of a plane, it should be the one I'm booked on at 17:15 to depart over to London City. So just thought I'd keep you appraised. But again, something else that KLM do that not a lot of other airlines would do. You know, there's some airlines now that would just say, well, when you land, have a chat to the staff, not really our problem. But KLM, again, coming through with that really clear communication and customer experience. It's nice to see. Okay, now the real fun starts. So let's see if we can get this connection. We're in pretty good form, 45 minutes to go, and I think we're going from D6, so we've got to get through passport control and onto this German Airways flight. I know you guys secretly love to see me run. I'm not the only one in the boat this week. Just for a point of reference, we got dropped off at D84 and my gate is D6. Gotta love the run. You know what, I'll give Schiphol that fast connections lane, show the boarding pass, just had to prove you got a tight connection straight through, and they were waiting for me. Tried the e-gates, didn't work, and then took straight through to the front of the passport control line to exit manually. So well done Schiphol and a big thank you. So it's looking like we'll be aboard this German Airways flight. I don't want to tempt fate, but I'm only 2 gates away, and I've got 10 minutes till boarding closes, so we have done it. Thank you for your support. I'll get my breath back now. Well, after all the celebrating, guess who just nearly got on the flight to Bristol? So I went straight to Gate 6, Zone C, which is where the agent told me to go, and still, over my left shoulder, still boarding for Bristol. I nearly ended up somewhere I didn't want to be. Not that there's anything wrong with Bristol. Nice place, but I need London City today. So yeah, the Bristol flight's slightly delayed, so they're boarding that first, then us from exit C, Zone C here down on this. I can't even talk. I've just lost all. I don't even know what I'm doing now. All professionalism out the window at Gate D6, Gate C. So yeah, we're up next after this Bristol flight, and then we're going to review German Airways, which is the wet lease operator operating on behalf of KLM, back to London City. And you know how I had an orange juice on that last flight? I think on this one I'm going to have a stiff drink. I've certainly earned it. It was then time to jump on the bus to get over to our aircraft, and flying us back to London City today is this Embraer E190, which was delivered to German Airways back in 2022. Then, in 2025, it was reliveried with this stunning Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft sticker. I really think this is one of the most unique Embraer liveries I've ever seen. It was nice to grab a brief moment to get my breath back as we boarded. The Embraer always feels special and always a little bit like your own little private jet, especially when you're flying in business. Here's my seat today, 1F on the bulkhead row. So welcome aboard this KLM City Hopper flight on the Embraer E190 operated by... I love that. Operated by German Airways, and I've got the whole of row 1 to myself. And this is going to be a fun flight, I feel. Today's just been one of those kind of whirlwind days. Didn't know I'd make the flight, had to run for it. And it looks like we've got some very fun crew on the flight as well. So sit back, relax. I'll take you on a tour of the business class cabin of German Airways on their Embraer E190, and they're operating for KLM City Hopper. The seats look a little older, but boy are they comfortable. The legroom is great, being a bulkhead row, and in the panel above your head is overhead reading lights and personal air vents. There's a manual window blind on row 1 alongside the leather storage pocket mounted to the bulkhead, consisting of a German Airways branded safety card, an explainer leaflet promising the same great KLM service provided by German Airways, and you guessed it, a copy of the Holland Herald. The seats in business class also recline too. There's a tray table stored in the armrest, and all passengers were handed a bottle of still water as a welcome drink. You know what makes me laugh? It's always the way, after all that running and all that stressing, we are slightly delayed because we can't get a fuel truck. Now, obviously, I know there's some issues in the world at the moment getting fuel, but I'm pretty sure if Amsterdam Schiphol has run out of fuel, then we are in deep, deep doo-doo. But No, apparently the truck is just slightly delayed, so it's on its way now. 5 to 10 minutes of refuelling, and then just a 45 to 50 minute flight time over to London City this evening, in time for my evening meal. And I'm looking forward to a little drink, honestly. I don't drink much at all, but when I have to run for planes, it almost drives me to drink. But the crew seem lovely, and the product seems really quite nice, considering that this is a German Airways aircraft, which is sort of wet leased for KLM, operating on behalf of KLM City Hopper. But you've got full leather seats. This is row 1, and I've got the whole of row 1 to myself. It's in a 2-2 formation all throughout, both business class and economy. It's all 2-2, but they're really wide kind of recliner armchairs, so pretty impressed, to be fair. It looks quite nice, and it is really comfortable. So I'm just up here on row 1 all by myself, chilling out, waiting for the fuel truck to arrive. 20 minutes ago I was running through Amsterdam Schiphol, not wondering if I'd even make this flight, so such is life. So that's us up in the climb, well on our way to London City, and you might have noticed that 777 that took off as we were taxiing to the other runway here at Schiphol, and I noticed it climb out with its undercarriage still out, which I thought was fairly normal, and then kept on tracking it and following it, and the undercarriage was still out, probably a good 1 to 2 minutes into the climb, as far as I could see anyway, so not too sure if that's normal. I don't think it is in my experience, but then someone's probably going to comment below and tell me that's completely normal. But normally gear up comes pretty much at positive rate after rotation, so strange. Hope everyone's okay, hope it's not too serious. But yeah, we're now on the climb on this Embraer E190 back to City. I am ready for a drink. I'm not too sure if we get anything on board this flight. It says it's the same level of service as you would receive on a KLM flight, so I would assume there's something, just not too sure what it is. Not necessarily expecting a full meal on this flight, but certainly probably a drink, I'm sure. We had that welcome bottle of still water as well, and there's just 2 cabin crew on this flight looking after all of us this evening over to City. So yeah, it's always a nice climb out of Amsterdam or the Hague Airport, Rotterdam The Hague, if you're flying to there. That's another lovely little airport, and it's quite a nice picturesque part of the world, the Netherlands, to be fair. Always great views. Well, bowl me over. I tell you now, I'm so impressed. Another nice little snack box. Very similar to the first one, albeit a little smaller in nature. There was a starter of a little sort of plastic box pot of paprika crackers, almost a little like Pringles, but circular, really tasty. There was a main course of a Mexican-style chipotle beef with a wedge of lime, a really like harsh cream cheese, spicy cream cheese dip, and some vegetables. Really tasty, actually. I love Mexican cuisine, so that was right up my street. That was a really nice dish. And dessert, you guessed it, the macarons are back, but I feel a little short-changed. I only got 2 this time, not 3. I'm only kidding. They were lovely. And then Elena came along and said, would you like a drink? They've got a full bar service. And I said, look, you know, it's completely up to you. Choose something for me, as long as it's alcoholic, because I feel like I've earned it. And she came with the Carver Blesser, which was absolutely delicious. So yeah, I'm a happy man. Really happy man. I'm very, very impressed with the levels of service from KLM today. I'll definitely fly them again. It was important to note that there was also this refreshing hand towel on offer by the crew, and the cutlery was wooden. A small miss in my opinion. I don't think you can ever go wrong with metal cutlery, but there was the signature salt and pepper envelope making an appearance again. The dedicated toilet at the front of the cabin was spotless, and this time did feature the Marie Stella Marie Objects d'Amsterdam luxury soap. This smells great. So, you know what, I'm just going to sum it up in one. I think it deserves a little précis of both flights. They've both been great in equal measure, and certainly KLM don't need to worry about putting their business in German Airways' hands, running the city hopper kind of side of things when it's not a KLM flight. Certainly a great lease partner because they are exceptionally good, and both crew members on today's flight have just been so friendly, bubbly and helpful, and actually quite enjoyed the fact that I've been filming, which is kind of makes a change. But the service KLM offer on these short routes is probably some of the best I've experienced in recent times when it comes to the 121, I don't even know what I'm saying today. I've literally just had this carver and now it's gone to my head. The 3 seats with the middle seat blocked. This is, you know, as good as you're going to get it ever. And this experience on the E190, the Embraer E190, is just even nicer because it's a small plane. I have a little soft spot for the Embraers anyway, but the way that business is worked out, you know, it's just absolutely beautiful. You've got these really nice leather armchairs in the KLM branding. They're really wide, they're not restrictive in any way, super comfortable. It's like an armchair at home. And I'm on row 1, which means when we land, grab the bags, intercity, straight through and go. It's been a great day, really enjoyed it, minus the running. Not a huge fan of the running. But if you're thinking about booking a KLM business class flight with a connection, don't hesitate, because even if you do miss the connection, there were so many staff there today on hand to help, and there have been a couple of people in front of me that had missed their connection, and they were dealing with it very well because, you know, the KLM staff are A, used to dealing with it, and B, professional and helpful, and, you know, give you the answers and rebook you onto the next flight and do everything professionally. And when you deal with things like hiccups like that properly, you know, you're always going to get a great response from the customer. Yes, it's not ideal, but the customer's always going to be responding well to staff that are friendly and helpful. So, you know what, KLM, you've really bowled me over, both on that Fifth Freedom leg and on this connecting route today through Schiphol. I really have been impressed. But I've got to go because the seatbelt sign's on. Everyone's looking at me saying, hurry up and finish your piece, because this little carver glass needs to go into the galley to be washed and cleaned and put away. So I'll say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at KLM and the wet lease operator German Airways into London City. A big thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Passengers, welcome to London City. Please keep your seatbelt fastened until we have reached our parking position in the The bus signs have been switched off. Please be careful when opening the overhead compartments to avoid objects falling out.
Looking back on this trip, I came away impressed. KLM once again showing why it's one of my favourite European airlines, delivering friendly, consistent service that even made a short business class flight like this feel worthwhile. German Airways may not be an airline many people know, but it offered a comfortable and reliable journey, carrying the baton on behalf of KLM into the incredibly convenient London City Airport. Would I book this itinerary again? Absolutely. It may not be the most direct route, but if you enjoy good service, earning flying blue miles, or simply trying something a little different, it's an easy recommendation from me. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Liking, sharing and subscribing helps me more than you'll ever truly realise, so thank you so much to those who've done it, and if you haven't subscribed, click the little icon and join me on a journey each week somewhere around the world.